welcome to the Bliss Blog. I'm Maggie Shayne, and we are more powerful than we ever imagined, and this is the place where we talk about how. Take a second to settle in, get comfy, top off the coffee mug, maybe tick that like button, maybe even subscribe while you're at it so you never miss a post. So we've talked before about the belief that in-between times and places are said to hold immense power. This belief shows in the way the ancient Celts and others measured time. They divided the year into segments like the spokes of a wheel, hence the name, the Wheel of the Year. The spokes of the Wheel of the Year are 8. They are divided into the 2 equinoxes, the 2 solstices, and the 4 points that fall exactly halfway in between them. Those times are known as the greater holy days, while the solstices and equinoxes, the obvious divisions of the year, are considered the lesser holy days. The greater holy days are Imbolc around February 2nd, Beltane around May 1st, Lammas around August 2nd, and Samhain around 11/7. I know most people think it's Samhain, but it's not. It's pronounced Samhain. The dates of those in-between times change from year to year a little bit because they're astrological dates, not calendar dates. But each of them also has a traditional date that it's usually celebrated for ease of planning. But all that's beside the point. The point is that the main divisions of the year, the solstices and equinoxes, are considered the lesser holidays, while the midpoints in between are considered the greater. In between places are also said to be filled with magical power. Swamps are in between land and water. Shorelines are in between land and sea. Tree trunks with their branches in the upper worlds and their roots in the underworlds are a channel, a doorway, a transition from world to world. So those two are magical in-between places. They're super highways. Doorways are very powerful. Standing in the threshold of a doorway does more than protect you from an earthquake. It's a transition. When you walk through a door into another room, your mind psychologically forgets everything that was going on in the room before. It signals a change when you step through a threshold, across a threshold. So that's a magical place, and it has magical powers. It's pure potential. When you're no longer one thing, but not yet another thing, you're in this state of delicious in-betweenness. It's pure potential, like I said. That's why it's so powerful there. When we're in between, anything is possible. We're not yet locked into the new, so we can form and shape it to our liking. In our culture, the biggest in-between time of the whole year is the time in between Christmas and New Year's Day. It's a week when we've kind of wrapped up the old year and we're waiting for the new one to begin. We're in a state of pure potential, an in-between time, and a powerful one. As we move through this week and into the beginning of the brand new year, we're thinking deeply about the year gone by. What went well and what didn't, what we loved and what we hated, what we want to keep and nurture into the new year, and what we want to leave behind. Most of us have been thinking about these things for a while now. It's natural to consider all these things as the year winds down, so we're probably pretty clear by now about the habits and beliefs and tendencies we need to leave behind and the ones we really want to keep with us and lean into. This is a part of our evolution. This is us stepping into our next iteration. This is where we level it up. This is the week where the new habits I've decided to institute get put into place. I actually start now because new habits take some time and consistency, and they often involve a little trial and error before they really take root. I've added 2 new segments to my daily routine, and I need to see how and where they best fit and how much time they're going to take up, and what else to shift around in order to accommodate them, and which time-consuming habits, doom scrolling, I need to release to make room for them. I've already begun during this in-between time. I'm running a daily rehearsal for the new way of being. Nothing drastic this year. I'm always fine-tuning my lifestyle for maximum health, happiness, and fulfillment. I've been developing some powerful habits this year that I want to keep going into 2026, especially my daily exercise, which I've really managed to make a habit now, and my savory oats and greens breakfasts, my warrior woman oats, as Ann Esselstyn calls them. I've been so successful in making those new habits that I miss them if I skip a day, and that is the key, right? When you get to that point where you miss it, if you skip it, you're golden. So get your habits to that point, the good ones, only the good ones. On Sundays, Lance makes me a tofu omelet for breakfast, and I love the tofu omelet for breakfast, but I miss my greens so much that I usually have them for lunch. I've really tapped into a winner there. I get my greens every day thanks to my absolute addiction to this breakfast. There's a piece about that over at my foodie blog, Eat Like You Give a Shit, and I will leave a link on the site. I've added 2 more segments to my day for the coming year, and I've been practicing them now. One involving housekeeping, keeping up with it a little bit better, just developing a routine around it so that it just happens every day, like it always did for my mom. The other involving skincare. I think both will add value and pleasure to my life. During this in-between week, I'm playing with where and when to place them in my day, where they fit, and what useless time wasters I can remove to make time for them. Doom scrolling. Think of the in-between work as your time for rehearsals before opening day, January 1st. I'll have all the bugs worked out and be ready for launch when I rise from my bed on Thursday morning. So what's really happening? Psychologically, starting a new habit when something else new is also beginning gives us a greater chance of success. If we begin our new habit or routine when we begin a new job, or after we've relocated to a new home, or on our birthday as we enter a new year of our lives, or on the first day of a new week, or a new month, or especially a new year, we can tap into the energy of newness and change already present. There's a real current of new beginnings that sizzles through the new year. Magically, well, if you think about the way traditional magic works, we have it entirely covered. We're raising energy as we make our lists and plan for the new year, just like we raise energy in spell work by chanting or drumming or rattling or dancing. And then we intensify our energy, raising it higher and higher as we count down those last few seconds to midnight. We release the energy with a bang as it peaks at midnight with bells and whistles and fireworks galore all around the world. We even seal the spell with a kiss. It's the biggest group magic we could ever be a part of, isn't it? This is a big deal. Our personal growth, our spiritual evolution, our deepening wisdom, broadening understanding, our expansion of joy, our ever-increasing capacity to love. They're no small matters. These are the reasons we came into these physical bodies to begin with. This is the ride we couldn't wait to take. When we align ourselves and our magic with the already flowing currents of our world, life becomes like walking on one of those moving sidewalks they have at the airports. We find ourselves moving rapidly, weightlessly, effortlessly when we flow with our cultural currents rather than always paddling upstream. It's just an added power boost to time our magic with the holidays and choose our goals to match the energy of the seasons. And of course, if we're also aligned with our higher selves, the source from which we emerged, we'll find life gets even better and better and better and better. So here's the art and the craft of making and breaking habits. There There are secrets to this and tricks and tips that you can use. To break a habit just by itself is nearly impossible. You have to overwrite the habit instead. The best analogy I've come up with is a computer file. When you delete a file, it's still there. It hasn't gone away. Anyone with the know-how could still find it on your computer, even if you empty the trash. Traces remain. The only way to get rid of that file entirely is to overwrite it with another file. And that's the same approach we have to take with habits. Don't just try to break them. Overwrite them with a new habit. Replace the bad habit you no longer want with a good habit you want to nurture and grow. For example, every time you want a cigarette, do 5 push-ups instead. Or every time you catch yourself doom scrolling, shift gears and send a thank you note or a note of praise to someone you appreciate. Oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to actually put that one into effect. The very best way to lose a bad habit is to replace it with a good one. Segment intending for the new year. When I learned Esther Hicks' segment intending process, it made my life about 1,000 times better. And it fits in perfectly with our topic here today, as most New Year's resolutions involve adding habits that will improve our lives and dropping old ones. Segment intending is very simply this. Decide what you're going to do and when you're going to do it and when you're going to stop doing it. Do you want to work on this segment's task until it's done or work on it for an hour? Whichever it is, just decide. With creative writing, I generally write until the words stop flowing, but I can feel when that happens. When you begin this first task of your day, don't do anything else. Focus exclusively on it until you have reached the goal you set for this segment. And then stop. Take a break, but set a timer for your break. Have a snack or a meal. Move around. Do something fun. Waste time online for a little while before you go on to begin your next segment. Then repeat the next segment of your day in exactly the same manner. Stop when your time is up. That's crucial. Focus only on what you're doing while you're doing it. That's crucial. And take a break when you're finished. And remember, those breaks are technically in between times all their own. And therefore, they're great opportunities for change, adjusting, fine-tuning, and casting spells. But stop when your time is up. That's crucial, both during working segments and during the breaks. 2026. 2025 has been a rough year, and far rougher for some of us than for others. Remember, though, the greater the contrast, the stronger the comeback. The farther the bowstring is drawn back, the farther the arrow is going to fly when you release it. This period of strife came to the USA because there were huge changes that needed to be made, and we did not make them. And so the problems had to become big enough that we no longer had a choice but to make the needed changes. That's how all reality works when it comes down to it. We experience something we don't like and we don't want, which causes us to be vividly aware of what would be better. And then we move into the improvement we created just by wanting it. The problems of this nation, the racism, the misogyny, the bigotry, the hate, the child abuse, have run rampant for far too long. That bowstring has been pulled far and is still stretching even further, while the gap between the wealthy and the rest of us widens, where CEOs take home billions while their employees qualify for public assistance on the taxpayer's dime. Bad things are happening because some people won't wake up until it's their rights being violated, their loved ones being assaulted and disappeared, their jobs laying them off. And it takes the evildoers time to get around to everybody. But most of the nation is feeling it now. Even the white folks, especially if they're women or gay or trans. I believe the arrow is going to fly very far. I think it's going to stab into the heart of both major parties in this country, striking a fatal blow to big money in politics. I think we'll get comprehensive voting rights, the ERA finally ratified, sane gun laws, and massive environmental improvements. I think we'll get tax dollars from the rich to pay for it all, too. But I'm an optimist. And I think all that begins in 2026, our nation's 250th year. And I'm going to talk about this a little more over on the Coffee House blog at MaggieShayne.com, but 2026 breaks down like this numerologically. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1. 10 is the end of a cycle. 1 is the beginning of a new one. I think our 250th year might be the year we finally start to live up to the ideals stated at our founding, that all men are created equal, and maybe this time we can compel them to include women in the sequel. We're in an in-between time right now, and that means anything is possible. Don't let this week go by without tapping into the energy of positive change, of rebirth, of renewal, of growth and expansion. You are more powerful than you know. See you in 2026.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Damn it. I'm being sacrificed again.
First you see her, then you don't. Says she'll call and then she won't. Sometimes she's dark, sometimes she's light. Witches on the wind tonight. See the shadow in her eyes, draws you in and hypnotized. You can't say no. Look out, she bites. Witches on the wind tonight. Witches on the wind tonight. First she's water, then she's stone. She prefers to dance alone within the fire. Well, she can't burn, she's ice. Witches on the wind tonight. Witches on the wind tonight. See her fly around the moon. She's not coming back too soon, but when she does, it won't be long till she takes flight. Witches on the wind tonight. Sometimes she's dark, sometimes she's light. Witches on the wind tonight.